What's up, guys? And welcome to my second channel. You know, it's kind of crazy. It's been 2 months, I think, since the last video I uploaded. I kind of hyped up the video that I wanted to upload next, and then out of nowhere, you get this one, some random fucking reaction video, whatever. That doesn't matter. Okay, that video I'm still working on. It's just that I got really tied up with Black Ops 6 and all that stuff, and I think it's fun, but you know yeah, so I'm a pretty big fan of Kingdom Hearts. I thought reacting to this video would be pretty fun. you know I feel like one of those history YouTuber reactors that, like, they watch the oversimplified videos. That's what I feel like right now. But yeah, this is a pretty popular video by Barry Kramer. And yeah, let's see what's in store for us.
Welcome to
Oh, let me just I'm a little sick right now. I mean, obviously I'm gonna cut out all the coughs and stuff like that, but yeah, just a little sick at the moment.
good enough summary of Kingdom Hearts. I've only played Kingdom Hearts 1 and like a third of Kingdom Hearts 2, but I've always been fascinated by the series. I mean, what does any of this mean? So I sat down with this good boy Gam and he explained everything to me for 7 hours.
Okay, yes, but it's
really?
a lot stupider than you think. And we'll get to that in a long time.
So actually, I saw part of this before, because I was curious, and then now we're watching this this video, but on the live stream, yeah, Gam was doing his best. Obviously, there's a lot, especially when you're put on the spot. That sometimes you forget things. Sometimes you feel like other aspects are more important, especially to the person in question asking. But yeah.
I'm still angry.
Okay. And now I'm going to explain everything to you in slightly less time. Please
That's
treat
good,
any
that's good.
non-accuracies as a true game word. But before we plunge
Alright.
headfirst into the terror that awaits us, there's some stuff you just gotta accept about the world of Kingdom Hearts. 1.
Okay.
Hearts are not literally hearts. They're kinda like a person's soul, but more like their emotional soul, I guess? 2.
Yes.
Light equals good and
Those-
dark equals bad, and these are not metaphor, they're tangible forces within the universe.
Okay, so I guess technically that's wrong. I mean, there's a lot of bad people that use darkness, but darkness doesn't necessarily mean bad. Just like how light doesn't necessarily mean good. But, most people who do use the light are good. We got people like Riku, who uses the darkness, and he's a pretty chill guy by the end of the series. So, like, it's not that one-dimensional, but it's still there's still a majority of people who are evil and they use darkness. Yeah.
3. If you lose your heart, or it's overcome by darkness, it turns into one of these little guys called a Heartless. 4.
Yep,
A
that's
body
true.
without a heart is an empty husk that turns into one of these slithery dudes, a nobody. Okay? So you lose your heart, you create both a Heartless and a nobody. Simple
That's
enough.
very true.
5.
Very true.
If you're strong-willed enough, your husk turns into a special kind of nobody that looks like you and can talk and stuff. Okay, sure, fine, why
Very
not?
much,
6. If both the Heartless and nobody are destroyed, the original person is made whole again. And whole people are called somebodies. Just...
Yep.
I know. 7. There's Disney and Final Fantasy characters everywhere. And retcons. 8. This is more of a personal note, but I find it easier to take this all in if you consider it more of an avant-garde
I'll say the retcons, there's not a whole lot, at least in my opinion, of my definition of a retcon. But there are certain things that, like, in games that weren't really questions in the previous game, but are answered in another game. I guess you could consider those retcons. But yeah. Like, with the Ansem reports, in the first game, the Ansem reports were, I think a good portion of them are written by Ansem Seeker of Darkness, which is the person who, well, not Ansem Seeker of Darkness, but somebody else who will get introduced later. Some of those were written by another person from somebody else also named Ansem. But some, like the first Ansem report, I believe the first and second are written by the character named Ansem, who we'll learn about later. But the rest they're just called Ansem reports, you know. But we didn't know that at the time because there wasn't a character who we'll see later.
Interactive art piece than a traditional narrative. Okay, let's dive in. Mickey, take the wheel! Kingdom Hearts 1. We start in Destiny Islands, and if you think that name is heavy-handed now, just you wait. There's a bunch of kids running around, but we only care about 3 of them. Sora, the plucky one, Riku, the angsty one, and Kairi, the milquetoast girl with no discernible personality traits whatsoever. Now,
I mean, with Kairi, she is this kind of like girl. But, you know, she's scrappy, man. Like, she's got a bit of a personality. I'm not fully with like, oh, Kairi, like Kairi who, but like, yeah, she doesn't do very much in the series, but she's very feisty, if you will. I'll post some stuff on the screen to prove that. But yeah.
despite having their own cluster of islands to call their own, these kids decide it's not enough and build a raft to go on their own adventures. But suddenly, shroop, a big old portal opens up and Heartless start pouring out. Sora tries to fight them and is absolutely useless until shwee, a Keyblade suddenly appears in his hand. And he's all like, nice. Now, Keyblades aren't just
Exactly
big
how that
keys. Well, I mean, they are, but they're also big metaphorical keys. They can destroy darkness and repair worlds and just generally do whatever the developers need them to do at that moment. And also, they're sort of like Harry Potter wands, where they choose their master, kinda. So Sora beats the crap out of some Heartless, and then Riku's like, dude, this evil portal is totally sweet. And Sora's like, I don't know, man, that looks like a bad time. And Riku's like, I'm gonna go through there. Nope. You should come too. Nuh-uh. Okay then. Yeah. I'll just, nope. Here I go. You should not. Through the spooky portal. And then everything explodes and Sora goes flying and Kairi sort of phases through Sora. Yeah, that's a little weird.
Okay, well, technically, it doesn't happen when the world basically gets destroyed, but he goes into a cave and Kairi's just standing in front of there, and then like a door opens and she just kind of flies into him, and it's a little weird. But yeah,
Elsewhere, Mickey Mouse, yes! Mickey Mouse, did I stutter? Is like, I gotta go, see you later, huh? And Donald and Goofy are like, but, you what? You're the king. You can't just find the Keyblade wielder, bye-bye.
So technically he leaves a note behind that says that he's leaving because the stars are going out in the sky. So he's going to investigate that, and the stars are the world's disappearing. So that is why Mickey has left Donald and Goofy to go find the Keyblade wielder.
Understand what's happening. So after exploding and flying through space for a while, Sora wakes up in this strange city with bumpin' music called Traverse Town. He meets up with Donald and Goofy, who are like, is that a Keyblade? And Sora's like, don't touch it. Meanwhile, Riku gracefully emerges from his creepy portal thing and meets up with Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty, and she's like, Riku, you should totally join me. Look, Sora doesn't even care about you anymore. He has new friends now. And Riku's like, these vibes I'm getting from you are definitely trustworthy. So Sora teams
Yeah, Riku gets groomed in the first game, but when he's the edgy one, that's supposed to happen, bro.
up with Dobbled and Goomby so they can find their friends. They travel through a bunch of Disney worlds that literally do not matter whatsoever. Like, it's fine if you want to hang out with the adorable little teacup from Beauty and the Beast, and this guy over here, Chub play the tub, fine, but it does not matter to the story.
It's nice though. I mean, I wouldn't say that it doesn't matter, because there are certain aspects in the Disney worlds that kind of matter, like how technically they're supposed to uphold, like they're not supposed to break the world, if that makes sense. Not break the world, but they're not supposed to mess with the order of the world. So like, you're not supposed to meddle in the affairs of what's happening in the world, but that's the whole purpose of the game basically. But like people who I forget her name, Ariel's dad, I think it's Triton knows about the Keyblade, and he knows like that they're not supposed to break the world order. But like, yeah, just little things like that. And later in the Pinocchio world, Riku steals Pinocchio, or Monstro, my bad. Riku steals Pinocchio because he's trying to wonder why this puppet has a heart. Because he's trying to put together Kairi. Because Kairi doesn't have a heart at the moment.
Eventually, they wind up at a big old castle called Hollow Bastion. Riku pops up, and Sora's like, Riku, my friend, after being separated for so long, I have finally found you. And Riku's like, girl, that Keyblade's only been hanging out with you to make me jealous. And Keyblade-chan zwoops on over to Riku-kun. Oh, Scoots, says Sora. Well, it doesn't matter. With Donald and Goofy at my side, we can't... our allegiance is with the Keyblade, not you, so...
Yeah, this
Then
kind of
Sora has a mopey road trip with Beast from Beauty and the Beast until they discovered this super spooky room with a giant keyhole and a bunch of sleeping Disney princesses. Riku's in the corner with Keyblade-chan going, oh yeah, and then what did he say? Oh girl, he did not, wow, what a creep, ha ha ha. But then Sora delivers this badass monologue about friendship and hearts and stuff, and Keyblade-chan gets all flustered and tsundere and zwoops back on over to Sora, and he's all, nice. Riku goes, oh yeah, well at least I still have Ansem, and Sora's like, who's Ansem? And Riku's like, this super evil dude that's possessing me, he was also like totally pulling Maleficent's strings or whatever. And she's like, it be like that though, and Sora goes, you what, mate? And also, Kairi has been drilling face down in the corner this whole time, but nobody knows because she's just that boring. Beast, who's been awkwardly in the room this whole time, points her out, and after a few minutes, they remember who she is. Kairi! Cries Sora. Riku drones on for a while about how Kairi's the last princess Ansem needs for his evil scheme. And also remember when Destiny Islands blew up and Kairi went zzzz through Sora? Yeah, her heart has been inside of Sora this whole time. Sora goes, ew, OMG, and commits.
I guess I'll explain the princess bit. So technically, they're princesses of heart, and princesses of heart have no darkness inside of them. So he's using them to bring Kingdom Hearts there. Because, you know, they don't want to have the Disney princesses have any darkness in them. Also, some of the princesses of heart aren't princesses. Like Ariel is one. Or not Ariel. What's her name? Alice is one. Like Alice from Alice in Wonderland. She's not a princess. Yeah.
Sudoku with his Keyblade. This frees Kairi's heart and revives her. Yay! This also frees Sora's heart, so he's a heartless now. Boo! But Kairi's like, bibbidi bobbidi deus ex machina, bitch. And Sora turns back to normal, which contradicts everything we understand about how any of this works, but sure, fine.
It's actually a pretty cool experience in the game because you get turned into a heartless and you have to wander that world that you're in to where the gang is at. And, you know, you hop around, you're a little shadow guy. But, yeah, it's pretty weird.
Fine. Ansem sees all this and is like, seriously, like, I checked the wiki and they used the word somehow. Whatever, I'm outie, peace.
I just always wrapped it up to she's a princess of heart, so it's just kind of light magic, princess magic, you know, that kind of Disney thing. But yeah.
And Sora follows him to Destiny Islands, but now it's all destroyed, so it's Deprestiny Islands. Ansem and Sora have a good old-fashioned anime showdown. You know, Sora believes in himself, Ansem turns into a boat, and the player mashes X a lot until Ansem is like, alright, whatever. I'm gonna open the door to Kingdom Hearts, which is the source of all hearts, and it's all darkness in there and stuff. I love darkness. Check out my tattoo. And Sora's like, alright, fine, open it, you dollar store goth, and sort of fumbles with his Oakleys for a moment because guess what? It's light. Ansem is all, curses, foiled, bingus bongus, and he explodes. Sora tries to close the door to Kingdom Hearts, but he can't. Oh no. Until guess what? Riku. Wait, how is he in there? And guess what? Mickey. What? Wait, where's his shirt?
I think the door is, oh yeah, Mickey doesn't have a shirt. But, I think that door, is actually the heart of all worlds. And Kingdom Hearts, like, they're showing that it's light back there, but it's actually in the realm of darkness. So in the actual cutscene, you'll see, like, it looks like a terrible place back there. But it's because Kingdom Hearts is inside the realm of darkness at the moment. Or the heart of all world is in realm of darkness. But yeah, you know.
Remember this, it's important, I swear, do not forget. Riku and Mickey
Very
help close the
important.
door from the inside,
Very
and
important.
bingus bongus bablamo. All the broken worlds go back to normal, and everybody returns to Destiny Islands, and Sora is like, okay, I'll be back, I gotta go save Riku and Mickey. And Kairi just kinda stands there because she has no agency and is barely a character. Chain of memories. 5 minutes later, Sora is walking down a road with Dorbald and Goblin when a hooded figure arrives and mumbles something about mysteries. They continue down the path and
Basically.
arrive at Castle Oblivion. Ooh. Sora works his way through the castle and meets a whole bunch of creepy figures that dramatically take off their hoods to reveal their sweet, sweet anime hair. There's Larxene and Marluxia and Axel and Lexius and Zexion and Vexen, also known as all the sweet LiveJournal blogs used to follow in middle school. They take turns showing up to do something mysterious, and then Sora blows them up. Except Axel, he's
Sora doesn't kill. It shows that Zexion died, and I think it also showed Alexius died to him. This game actually has like 2 campaigns or 2 stories. So there's the Sora part first, and then we'll see like after. But Sora fights Larxene, Axel, and Marluxia. I think that those are all the organizations. Oh, and Vexen. He fights Vexen as well, but he doesn't kill Vexen.
survives because he had the biggest anime hair of them all. Meanwhile, Sora's losing his memories.
Axel, bro.
The further he moves into the castle, the more his real memories get replaced by fake memories. He starts remembering this girl who kind of looks like Kairi, but she's not. She's got different hair and almost a personality. Her name is Naminé. And Sora's like, I don't remember anything else, so I better find this Naminé. She seems important and was along for our adventures this whole time. Also, I kind of feel like I want to give her a smooch. A few games of poker later, Sora finally reaches Naminé, and she's like, yeah, I stole all your memories. You have to take a nap so I can restore them, but you'll forget everything from this game. You won't even remember me. But Sora's already asleep in this big old fancy pod.
That's very funny.
Durlap and Gruff share the economy class pod, and they deserve it for wasting all the health potions. You had one job! Meanwhile, Riku and Mickey just kinda leave Kingdom Hearts. Riku takes the wake up floating in a void option, then teleports into Castle Oblivion because he ventures.
Yeah, so after the end of Kingdom Hearts, I think he rolls with Mickey for a bit, and then he wakes up in the basement of Castle Oblivion. And then after the Sora campaign, that's when you do the Riku one. So this is the Riku story, basically.
Through the castle, but doesn't lose his memories because Naminé only got eyes for Sora, know what I mean? He meets a bunch of those hooded weird.
Actually, the castle kind of zaps the memories itself. Like, yes, Naminé is important with a lot of Sora's memories and the removal of them, but the castle also takes away like Donald's memories and Goofy's memories because they start forgetting stuff and they start forgetting that they're friends and they kind of get pissed off with each other. It's actually kind of cool in the game. But yeah, I don't remember if Riku loses his memories and stuff, but I think so. I'm just gonna say that.
Weirdos, which by the way, all belong to a group/cult called Organization 13.
We didn't know that though in this game. I think they just used the term organization and they're just hood guys.
More on that in a bit, and later runs into a clone of himself. Riku's like, whoa, it's a clone of me, sweet. And the clone is like, no, you're the clone. My name is Replica Riku. And wait a minute, why is Replica in my name? So Riku.
Yeah, so this clone, I don't think he's gonna go over it, but this clone was made by Vexen. Vexen was working on making replicas of, like, he just had a replica program, and that's what his main purpose in the organization was, to make these replicas. So they made one of Riku from his time of being possessed in Kingdom Hearts 1. But yeah. Also, Riku, they didn't mention it. It's kind of funny. That would have been a funny joke. But in this game, Riku mentions many times that he could smell darkness.
Enemy. And so are you for reeking of that awful smell. Oh,
You know, whatever that means.
Kicks him a few times and Replica Riku explodes. Then Riku bumps into this red mummy named Diz, and he's like, don't worry about me for now. Actually, don't worry about any of this. You got like 5 games to go before things start to make sense. And then Mickey hops on Riku's back and is like, well, I'm gonna help you control your darkness better. Let's go! And that's about it for
Technically, no. In fact, the whole purpose of the campaign is that Riku is dealing with this darkness in him. and it's personified as Ansem, which was the boss from the last game. So like he kind of follows him around and stuff like that. Like it's just his darkness, but he personifies it as Ansem. But Mickey's actually the one saying like, "Hey, keep away from darkness. Like that's a bad slope, bro. Don't go down that." But towards the end of the game, he realizes like, well, I'm going to use light and darkness together, and that'll like, you know, it'll make me strong, and I'm that kind of person. So yeah.
Chain of Memories. The next game is Kingdom Hearts 2, which starts with not Sora, but with this guy, Roxas. To find out what his deal is, we need to first check out 358 over 2 days.
I feel like you should go over Kingdom Hearts 2 first, because so this game comes out after. It came out in 2009 when Kingdom Hearts 2 came out in 2005 in the US at least. But yeah, because this game is gonna kind of spoils a bit of it.
That title. So, okay, again, remember when Sora had a Sudoku and released Kairi's heart and turned himself into a Heartless? That also created Sora's Nobody, who wakes up in Twilight Town one day all boopity boopity, where the poopity am I? He's found by this weirdo named Xemnas, who's like, welcome to Organization 13. Here's your spooky cloak and how to infuriatingly speak in riddles guide. Also, your name is Roxas. Xemnas introduces Roxas to the rest of the Breakfast Club. Luxor, Demix, Syx, Zaldin, Zigbar, remember him for later, and hey, we know these guys. This game takes place at the same time as Chain of Memories, so you got some characters going back and forth between the two. It's super. Roxas goes on adventures around Disney World and becomes best buds with one organization member in particular, Axel. They eat ice cream and just totally bro out. It's super cute. Then Xemnas is like, yo, some stuff is going down at Castle Oblivion. Who's in? And a bunch of Organization 13 members head over there, including Axel, and then that ties in the Chain of Memories. Then
yeah. So he sends them there because of the cloning of the replica project, and also I think, you know, this is the castle. He wants to check them out. Obviously, Xemnas has other things, but he's not telling the group that. And a main portion of the things that happen in Castle Oblivion is because Marluxia and Larxene kind of devise a plan to do a little coup in the organization, but they get taken out by Sora. So like, you know, that's over.
Then a new character pops up, the 14th member of Organization 13. What? Her name is Xion, and she's like, I'm weird, I don't know who I am. And
she's also the best. She's the favorite of all the trios. I love Xion. She's great. She's got a great story.
For good reason. Turns out she's... Let me just check my notes here. A replica of Sora created by Xemnas using the memories Naminé took from Sora as a failsafe in case Roxas ended up not going along with Xemnas' crazy schemes. And thanks to Naminé, some of Sora's memories wound up in Roxas too.
And yeah, he doesn't remember... I think there's specifically, like, a lot of the memories are memories of Kairi, which is why she looks like a girl, you know, to Roxas. She also looks like a different person to other people who look at her. Like, to Zigbar, she looks like somebody else. To Xemnas, she looks like somebody else. And to some of the others, she has, like, a hood. Like, it just looks like she's wearing a hood. She doesn't look like a person. But, yeah.
So Xion pieces out in an attempt to save us all from having to understand what's going on, but Xemnas captures her and reprograms her to make her attack Roxas. Because if Xion defeats Roxas, then Sora will never be able to get his memories back. Oh! But Roxas...
Technically, I mean, so what happens is she bumps into Riku, and Riku's like, let me take care of this person. She's just kind of like, what the hell's going on? Like, why are you coming at me and stuff like that? So he explains to her everything, like, hey, I got a buddy Sora. I got my friend Sora here, and he can't wake up because his memories are missing. And you know, your memories are inside you and Roxas, and we kind of need you to like go away. And at that point, like, she's feeling very like, man, do I even matter and stuff like that. So she ends up going with the plan, but she's still kind of hesitant, which is why I think she fights with Axel one last time, and Axel brings her in, and they give her a bit of a buff to fight Roxas. So it's like peak Shion versus Roxas. And in this boss fight.
Defeats Shion, and she's like, Cough, Sputter, you gotta merge with Sora and defeat Xemnas. And Roxas is like, what's a Sora? Is that a type of ice cream? But before she can reply, she morphs into Roxas. Dang.
Yep.
Riku shows up because, sure, why not?
And everybody forgets about her. That's a main, like, plot point. Is that when Shion dies, everybody who knows her... everybody who knows her, like, doesn't remember her at all.
Why not? And he's like, okay, Roxas, time to go back to Sora. And Roxas is like, I don't wanna. Also, whom's this Sora? And Riku's like, fine, sit inside this computer simulation until you cool off. And
So this is a boss fight. Roxas fights Riku, and he loses to Riku. He almost wins, but Riku takes so basically he gives into his darkness, and that's why he's wearing a blindfold, so he could get used to the darkness, I think. Edgy boy stuff. But he takes it off and he transforms into Ansem. Like, he looks like Ansem because the darkness has taken over him. And he beats Roxas, he grabs him, and then
Roxas is like, what are any of these words you're saying?
Yeah, he shoves them into
Which
the
leads
computer.
us to Kingdom Hearts 2. We meet up with Roxas, who's inside a computer simulation of Twilight Town, except he lost most of his memories and doesn't know he's inside a computer.
Yes.
And I mean, we're not supposed to either, because 358 over 2 days released like 4 years after Kingdom Hearts 2, but trust me, it's just easier to understand this way. So Roxas has his weird summer break and eats lots of ice cream and experiences a bunch of brain freezes and glitches in the Matrix until one day Axel shows up. And he's all like, Roxas, you're in a computer, I'm your friend. And Roxas is like, what's a computer? Then he meets Namine, who goes, you're Sora's nobody. And Roxas is like, whoa, what's a nobody? He doesn't understand what's going on, but that's okay because neither do we. He finally runs into Diz, who goes, look, just merge with Sora and everything will be cool. And Roxas goes, okay, but there better be ice cream there. So
Roxas hates Diz. Also, Diz is kind of racist towards nobodies. It's because he's salty about a certain thing we'll find out later. But yeah, Diz does not like nobodies. He doesn't really like Nominate. He's like, oh yeah, you're not supposed to exist. Like, you're a waste of space, stuff like that, He
absorbs out of the computer and into Sora, and Sora finally wakes up with all of his memories back. Minus everything that happened in Chain of Memories. And I guess Dallas and Gomit wake up too, whatever. Mickey, now in a badass hoodie, sends them off to meet the wizard, a wonderful wizard named Yen Sid. And he looks like this. Yen Sid goes, first of all, those outfits have to go. Zippers are out, belts are in. Second, you need your driver's license. Go visit more Disney worlds. So they visit some more merchandising opportunities and keep bumping into Maleficent, now joined by Pete and a bunch of those Organization 13 weirdos. They just don't quit, do they? At one point, there's a battle with 1,000,000,000,000 Heartless, and Goofy gets hit by a boulder and dies. Yeah, he's dead.
Here's the clip.
Yes, Your Majesty! Look out! Wow! Goofy! No!
You're the king's captain. You gotta get up.
Come on, wake up!
I'm sorry about the ice cream.
Goofy?
Goofy.
This is not happening. It can't be happening. It can't. They'll pay for this.
Angus Bunger, you're 6 feet under. Somewhere in all this mess, we get a big ol' exposition dump. A while ago, there was a nice bearded man named Ansem the Wise, who was a man of science. Or the Kingdom Hearts equivalent of science, because this guy was researching hearts and light and wrote his dissertation on feeling good and having friends. Now, Ansem the Wise had an apprentice by the name of Xehanort, who let his heart get consumed by darkness because he's a weirdo. This created Xehanort's Heartless, which confusingly decided to call itself Ansem. Psst, this was the bad guy in Kingdom Hearts 1, not Wise Ansem. They're completely different people. And Xehanort's Nobody.
But yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier. So, Ansem the Wise is the real person named Ansem. That's Ansem, Seeker of Darkness. But he just kind of takes the name Ansem. I think Nomura wanted just like a little plot twist, which is why he gave them both the same name. But yeah, a lot of the notes were written by that guy, Xehanort.
Which called itself Xemnas. Hey, we know that guy. Meanwhile, Kairi's standing exactly where Sora left her on Destiny Islands, but somehow in a new outfit, when Axel swoops in and kidnaps her. He wants his buddy Roxas back, and he's not gonna let Organization 13 boss him around no more. Oh no siree. But he instantly sacrifices himself so Sora can jump through a portal to the world that never was. Sora's like, how can I be in a place that never was when it clearly currently is? But just then a mysterious figure emerges. It's Ansem, but no, it's Riku. It's Riku, but he looks like Ansem. Okie dokie. Sora.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like, you know, at the end of the boss fight against Riku, when you in 358 over 2 days. Well, what the hell are they? I just looked at Goofy and Donald right there. What? But yeah, you know, that's why he looks like
Sora
that.
goes on a heart unlocking spree until Diz appears and he's like, you think that I'm a mummy now? Here's a surprise. Feast your eyes on my disguise. I'm really Ansem the Wise. The bad guys are conspiring to make their own Kingdom Hearts, but they forgot a little something that's right, my looks and my smarts. I'm gonna use this pewter here to digitize the skies. You better idolize and recognize I'm Ansem the Wise. Sora, Donald, Goofy, Riku, Mickey, and Kairi. I bid you all adieu because my computer is backfiring. So Diz is...
So yeah. This is Ansem the Wise. The reason why he doesn't like the nobodies was because all of his apprentices turned into nobodies and basically, like, you know, threw him out and destroyed his world. So, you know, that's why he doesn't like them. But yeah, all of Organization 13, or at least most of them, are apprentices from Ansem the Wise.
His computer explodes, which causes Diz to disappear, and for some reason also turns Riku back to normal. Xemnas is all, my beautiful plan ruined, etc, etc, let us fight. Sora and Riku hold hands and prepare for a good old-fashioned anime showdown. Sora believes in himself, Xemnas turns into a boat, and the player mashes X a lot, and sometimes triangle, until...
Sometimes triangle?
Till Xemnas is defeated. Everyone winds up back on Destiny Islands because sure, whatever. And Namine's there too, and she's like, hey Kairi, nice to meet you, I'm your nobody. And Kairi stares into the middle distance. Yeah, so everything ties back to the moment Sora released.
I mean, technically, they meet before the boss fight. Roxas and Namine kind of like go back into their normal selves, or you know, their original self.
His and Kairi's hearts. Either it's poetic in its simplicity or stupid in its stupidity, I don't know. This moment should have created 2 Heartlesses and at least 1 nobody, because Kairi's heart isn't really connected to her body at this point. But Kairi is a princess of heart, meaning she has 0 darkness in her heart, so she doesn't create a Heartless. She does create a nobody, but she has no body for it to form from, so while Sora is busy splitting splitting off into his Heartless and his Nobody, Kairi's Nobody, Namine, is created from Kairi's heart and Sora's body, which
That's
explains
very
why
true.
she was able to meddle with his memories and whatnot. So to sum it up,
Yes.
I don't know. I said up front this thing was filled with retcons, right? Sora goes, oh yeah, Roxas has been kinda rumbly lately. You
I
okay,
wouldn't
little
call
fella?
that a
So
retcon.
Sora and Roxas share a ghost hug, and Kairi and Namine are chill, I guess. Oh, and the Goofy recovers from being dead. But then a letter
Don't forget
washes
about
up
that.
on the shore with that dang old Mickey Mouse insignia on it. What do you want now, you creepy rat? But before we open that envelope, birth by sleep. Diddly diddly diddly, 10 years earlier, we got these 3 sweet pieces of anime hair. Aqua, Terra, and Ventus. Weirdly, Ventus looks a lot like Roxas, like identical. I mean, I know compared to Dozenkrantz and Goofenstern over here, Roxas and Sora look a lot alike, but trust me, Roxas resembles this guy, Ventus, for reasons.
Yes.
The 3 of them are being trained by Master
I'm sure we'll go over it later because, yeah, it's kind of explained.
Ericus to become Keyblade Masters. Ventus is too young and spunky, so he has to wait while Aqua and Terra take their final test, the Mark of Mastery. Also, we're in this place, the Land of Departure. Aqua passes and she's all like, neat,
Pretty cool
but
place.
Terra fails because he's got too much angsty darkness and Spencer's coupons inside his heart. And Ericus takes
Yeah, they just kind of hit balls and then they fight each other. And during the fight, there's like darkness that comes from Terra's hands, and he's trying to hold it back. See, Ericus is another person who's like, hey, light only. Like, we can't have any darkness at all.
one look and goes, girl, get yourself sorted out. Meanwhile, in a fancy land for fancy lads called Radiant Garden, Ansem the Wise is researching how hearts work and stuff. He's got some test tubes and like a computer, and he's going,
Yep,
oh yeah,
we
it's
actually see
interesting.
this.
And he's surrounded by all of his hot anime friends who kinda look familiar. There's also a little girl here named Kairi who's got no personality. Look at her go. Elsewhere, Aqua and Terra pop out of a portal on Destiny.
Yeah, I don't know if it's explained, or he explained it, but Kyrie is from Radiant Garden, which turned into Hollow Bastion. But yeah, that's her original hometown was Radiant Garden.
Islands, because of course they do. They meet these 2 little babbies named Sora and Riku.
Oh my God.
Terra walks
We're just jumping like way ahead. This is like way later in the game. Jesus.
over and is like, ew, this one is totally giving me Ventus vibes. Hey kid, now you know how to use a Keyblade. You won't remember this when you're older. And Riku dribbles on himself. Also, Kairi comes over
I mean, I think they're like 4. They're like little kids. I mean, they're not babies, but they're pretty young.
from Radiant Garden, and Aqua maybe teaches her how to use a Keyblade?
Okay, so technically what happens was Aqua's fighting some unversed, those are the enemies in Birth by Sleep. But when she's fighting, she protects Kairi, who's just like a little girl in the street, and she touches the Keyblade, or her Keyblade. So it's kind of like she did the ceremony thing that Terra did with Riku that she said, which is why he also didn't say, but in Kingdom Hearts 2 she gets a Keyblade, like Riku just hands her one and she kills 2 Heartless. Like I know it's because everybody says, oh fuck Kairi, like, what does she do? But yeah, like she's got a bit of personality.
Ventus is wandering alone by himself somewhere when this hot piece of action rolls up on a motorcycle and is like, remember me? And Ventus is like, nope. And Hot Stuff takes off his helmet and is like, how about now? And Ventus is like, sorry, I only know one other dude with yellow eyes. Wait! Turns out Ventus forgot a whole bunch of stuff that was super important. Before he was being trained by Master Ericus, his master was this objectively evil-looking dude with yellow eyes named Master Xehanort. How about that? Xehanort was
Kind
trying
of.
to get
So I'm sure they'll explain it later. Roxas isn't from this time. I think hold on, when did this video come out? This video came out in 2019. So there's a phone game called at the time it was Unchained Key. At least here in the US. But he's from the phone game too, or Ventus is in the phone game as well. So he's from an earlier time. And Xehanort finds him like after he comes to this time. And yeah, he'll
Ventus
explain.
to unleash the darkness in his heart to summon this all-powerful Keyblade called the Keyblade. That's the Greek letter key. But Ventus was like, I don't wanna, I'm a good boy, look at my badge. And Xehanort's like, fine, I'll just take your darkness myself. And goes shoobly bop, sucks the darkness out of Ventus's heart and makes Motorcycle Man, also known as Vanitas. Oh, and he-
Yep. That darkness, we'll find out later, is not just darkness.
he looks exactly like an evil Sora, but just don't think about it, it's fine.
I think they explain it in 3.
Flashback over, Ventus is like, oh yeah, I remember. And Vanitas is like, cool.
Okay, he doesn't say, but when Sora's heart was like, you know, when he was barely being born, like his heart came up and was like, hey, you're a bro. Oh, because when he separated the darkness, that kind of like shattered Ventus's heart. So Sora, who's barely being born, is a new heart, and it's like, hey, you could take refuge in my heart real quick while I repair you. And then like later, Ventus's heart gets fixed, and like he gets to normal, and that's when he starts going to wherever Terra and Aqua were. I forget the name of it. But yeah, that's when he gets trained and stuff, and they all become friends and things like that. But yeah.
We gotta fight. Meet me at the Keyblade Graveyard.
Okay, so long ago, there were tons of Keyblade wielders, and they all fought over the key.
Oh, okay. I guess he didn't explain why they all went separate ways, because, I mean, I'm sure you're wondering why they all went to go do different things. But afterwards, Terra gets talked to by Xehanort, and Xehanort's like, hey, like, you know, darkness isn't all bad. You could work on that and like learn to control it yourself and stuff. So he goes out in search of finding himself, I guess, because he's still on the side whether or not he wants to control it or just like completely be light. And Ericus sends Aqua to go look after Terra, and Ventus follows Terra because he's like, oh, well, where's he going? I gotta go find him. But yeah, that's why they're on their adventure.
Blade in this epic war, and now all that's left is a bunch of keys in the ground. But Ventus knows all this and just goes, "K." Meanwhile, Terra's getting super moody and kills Master Ericus. Ericus is like, "Why, my pupil?" And Terra's like, "I don't know, Gam didn't go over this part in detail, but I'm assuming darkness?" Then everyone piles.
Wait, hold on. What does it say?
And Terra's
right
like, "I don't know, Gam didn't go over this part in detail, but I'm assuming darkness?"
So Ericus realized what Xehanort was doing and came to the conclusion that killing Ventus was the only way to stop him for good. Terra comes in and sees Ericus about to kill Ventus and is like, whoa, don't kill my friend. But I have to, don't kill my friend. That's funny. That's funny right there. But yeah, you know, Terra walks into Ericus almost killing Ventus because, you know, he realizes that Ventus is a big part of Xehanort's plan to bring back the Keyblade. And yeah, that's why he fights him and he kills him there. Yeah.
Then everyone piles into the minivan and heads on over to the Keyblade Graveyard for their big anime.
Is that a DDR Keyblade? That's kind of hype, bro. I like that. That's a little DDR Keyblade.
Fight, and you know it's serious because nobody turns into a boat. Ventus versus Vanitas, Terra versus Xehanort, who's like, hello, and Aqua versus this dude who you might recognize better like this, but he doesn't have his cool eye patch and scar yet. Him named Brad.
Actually, he does at this point. In Terra's story, he fights him because Xehanort and Brig kind of have a little plan together to like, because Xehanort wants Terra to use darkness and bring out the darkness inside of him. So he gets a little scheme together that like Breg kidnapped Xehanort and is holding him hostage. So he fights Breg, and during the fight, that's actually where he gets the scar from.
Breg. Xehanort is like, I'll have the Keyblade, not Keyblade.
And also Breg is kind of pissed about that. He's like, what the fuck? Like this was a part of the deal. Like then now I got a scratch on my face.
And with that, I'll control Kingdom Hearts. And Terra's like, nuh-uh, no siree, stop right there, Mr. Bister. And everyone starts fighting. Aqua beats up Breg, and he's like, now I look cooler. Ventus and Vanitas fuse, which sorta creates the Keyblade for a second, but then it explodes.
Oh, so like yeah, they do fuse, and Ventus is kind of like an evil Ventus at that time, but inside of his heart, he's actually fighting Vanitas in his heart, and once he wins, that kind of like shatters the Keyblade. Also, Aqua fights the evil Ventus as well.
And then Ventus explodes. He's just asleep, but his heart goes swoosh over to Destiny Islands to go live in Sora's heart and heal up. Sure, okay.
Yeah, so Sora's heart reaches out to him again and is like, hey, yo, I see that you're hurt. Like, why don't you chill inside me? And you could repair. Because when Vanitas and Ventus fought, that kind of shattered his heart even worse. And that's why he is comatose basically for 10 years. And also why Sora can use the Keyblade, because he has Ventus's heart inside of him. At first, that's why because the Keyblade was originally supposed to go to Riku, as he remembers, with the whole Tsundere Keyblade part. But yeah, Riku had a lot of darkness in his heart, so I wanted to go to the lighter person.
Aqua takes Ventus's blown-up body back to the land of departure and uses her Keyblade to turn it into Castle Oblivion. She goes, okay, Ventus,
And that is the reason why Xemnas wanted people to investigate Castle Oblivion, because he knew that Ventus was in there.
The only one who knows you're here. Have a good nap now, pat pat. She returns just in time to see Xehanort possessing Terra, forming Terra Xehanort, or Terranort for short. A while back, Xehanort was like, I'm getting old. I can possess someone using the darkness in their heart. That's a neat trick.
Also, psst, this is what Nording is.
Aqua goes, I am not about this. And
okay, also, so there's a really cool sequence where after Terra gets possessed, his like will goes into his armor, and his armor fights the possessed Terra, and like that's the final fight for Terra in that moment. But yeah, he fights they call it the Lingering Will, it's a boss fight in Kingdom Hearts 2. It's a secret boss fight. Whether or not it's canon is up in the air, but like, yeah, it's like one of the hardest boss fights out there. It's pretty cool.
Fights and defeats Terranort, but Terranort's all like, ha ha ha, not so fast, and uses his Keyblade to unlock his heart, which traps Aqua in the realm of darkness and gives Terranort amnesia.
Technically, no. So yes, they get teleported to Hollow Bastion, or not Hollow Bastion, Radiant Garden. But he gets teleported to Radiant Garden. They have a fight there. And in a last-ditch effort to stop it, Xehanort is like, fuck, I'm gonna lose. Let me just send myself to the Realm of Darkness. So he opens up a portal to throw Terra inside of it. But Aqua goes in and saves Terra, or, Terra's body. And that's why she's trapped in the Realm of Darkness. And also why he has amnesia, because he lost a fight and also almost got thrown into the Realm of Darkness.
Because we didn't have enough tropes on our plate already, sure. Throw some amnesia into the mix. Terranort, just calling himself Xehanort now, becomes an apprentice to Ansem the
Yeah, so he just calls himself Xehanort. That's the only thing that he remembers.
Wise, and then much later gets his memories back, and goes on to create his Heartless Ansem, this one, not that one, and his Nobody Xemnas. Now we can return to the present in...
And the reason why, I guess we'll go over it later.
Recoded. Well, not quite the present. Sometime after defeating Xemnas, but before Mickey's letter arrives at Destiny Islands, Jiminy Cricket is hanging out with Mickey. You see, throughout Sora's many adventures, he's been accompanied by Jiminy, who's been documenting everything that happens. Like, today, Sora spent 15 minutes staring at a bowl of oatmeal. Jiminy's about
Yeah, you know, he's got he writes down the journal. That's where you see like all the heartless entries and nobody entries and like what happens in the story. He's chronicling, if that's a word. I forget the word for it. But yeah, he's writing down the journey.
to turn in his homework to Mickey when he notices some cryptic messages he didn't write, like some Cure lyrics or something. Chip and Dale.
Yeah, so at the end of Chain of Memories, he just writes in the book "Thank Nominee" with like no context, just "Thank Nominee." So they're like, "What the fuck is this?"
Digitize the journal and create a digital copy of Sora, Data Sora, to fight the bugs that are corrupting the data, and I don't know, hacking hijinks ensue?
So basically, right, they digitize the book. They basically like turn it into data, but the data's all corrupted from Chain of Memories. And they make the digital Sora to fight the corruption, which is those bugs, the square things. And yeah, in the game,
Pete and Maleficent are there,
guess
some
we'll explain it
C-tier
later.
Disney properties show up, Jiminy's journal appears and turns into Riku.
yeah, it personifies itself as Riku. And then later, you know, I think there's a thing where they say they put bugs in him.
It's just whatever. The journal is restored and Data Nominee reaches out to Data Sora and is like, hey, you got a whole lot of business jellying up your jam ram. You got Roxas inside of you and like Shion's inside of Roxas and then there's like Ventus sort of fused with Vanitas. It's just a big ol' awkward inception party in there. It's middle school dance bad. Also, the bugs are a side effect of me messing with Sora's memories cause Data Sora texts all this to Mickey who's like, butter my me shape.
Okay, so in the game, Mickey and Mickey, Sora, and Goofy, or Mickey, Donald, and Goofy are trapped in the journal. Like at a certain point, the machine just kind of sucks them in, and Sora helps them out. But yeah, the data Sora gets them out. But yeah, the whole purpose of this game is to get the information that there are hearts inside Sora, and he needs to release them.
Muffins, the real Sora's gotta learn about this stat! And writes the letter that then shows up at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2. Data Sora goes, what? Real Sora? As the computer gets turned off because Mickey's got a date with the wizard. Yen Sid goes,
Yo, Xehanort is coming back and we're screwed. We only have one Keyblade Master and you, like, randomly took your shirt off that one time.
and Mickey goes, we'll get to that. What about Sora and Riku? If they become Keyblade Masters and Sora gets his jam unjellied, we might stand a chance. And Yen Sid goes,
Okay, but there's a lot of jelly in his jam. And it smells like peaches.
Dream Drop Distance. In order to become Keyblade Masters, Sora and Riku have to take the Mark of Mastery, the same exam that Terra and Aqua took way back when. But apparently the test is totally arbitrary and whoever's conducting the exam just does whatever they want, just like real life. Yen Sid charges Sora and Riku with waking all the sleeping hearts of various worlds that have been on a constant roller coaster of exploding and being reformed over the past couple games. They bounce through some Disney worlds.
So basically, the worlds that they're going to they're called the sleeping worlds. Like you said, you know, they've been going on and off from being like taken over or not, and like the worlds in there, like Traverse Town gets back, which is technically a world that should only exist when other worlds are broken, because it's kind of like a refugee camp for people from worlds who got taken by darkness. So that's why it's sleeping. But you know, you also got like there's a world for the Hunchback of Notre Dame and like Tron, which we went to Tron in Kingdom Hearts 2, but it's the newer Tron. I forget what it's called. And like there's another part which could technically be Disney Castle as well, but it's the Three Musketeer movie. I don't know if you ever seen that. I'll post it up on screen, but that's also a world in this game.
And wake people up, but not Sleeping Beauty? Come on.
Well, the Sleeping Beauty world, was actually in Birth by Sleep. Yeah.
Come on, it's a game about waking people. Okay, Gam's telling me there's a
Oh, there's
reason.
little
Okay,
Tron.
fine. Anyway, remember the rules of the Kingdom Hearts universe? All that stuff about heartless and nobodies and how destroying both restores the original somebody? Yeah,
Yep.
so all those Organization 13 nobodies Sora killed, they're back as their original X-less somebodies. What? Our protagonist wasn't going around murdering people? See, they're fine, ha ha ha. Also keep it together. Oh. The X in all those nobodies' names isn't an X. It's called the Recusant Sigil, and Xehanort uses it to mark his BFFs and track their location.
Yep.
This even works on clothing, and that's, oh god, that's how they're able to track Sora throughout this game. Because they put an X on his shirt.
A lot of people don't like this, as you can tell by how upset he is. But yeah, so the X was just kind of like, think of it like Xemnas was an overprotective girlfriend who was like, "Hey, I want you to send me your location on a messenger, like so that way I have that at all times." Of course, nobody knew because it was just a random X, and why all the names of their somebodies are different from their actual nobody names. Which I think at first they wanted them to just be like crazy, or they wanted to just have like kooky JRPG names, but then Nomura made it a canon reason why they have the names. But yeah, you know, when he introduced the somebodies.
Woo! Oh, and then this guy shows up. This is young Xehanort.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody hates that guy, young Xehanort.
So now there's time travel in this series. Good.
Time travel.
I am over the heart-shaped moon. Thank you! It really doesn't matter how time travel works in this universe, and I'm scared to open the wiki again, so here's all of Gam's notes on the matter.
Okay, let me go over
In this
this.
universe, and I'm scared to open the wiki again, so here's all of Gam's notes on.
To time travel like Xehanort did, you have to abandon your body and just become a heart or heartless, because heartless are just essentially hearts. This allows you to travel through time, apparently, if you have assistance in it. It's not just you're a heart, now go back in time and kill Hitler, go forward in time and kill Mega thing. You can only travel through time if there is a version of you in time you're going to. You're also unable to travel to the future beyond the present point. Okay. Also, you could change time. You can't change time, meaning you can't go change the future. You're always part of events. You travel in time, and it's already determined event in time. You're not breaking time by traveling through it. Yeah. This all makes sense. Once you finish time traveling and return to where you started, you forget everything that happened when you travel in time. This is how Ansem traveled in time and got DDD started. When Xehanort took control of shit and Radiant Guardian fucked everyone over and split himself into Ansem and Xemnas. His heartless Ansem was able to travel through time because he is just a corrupted heart. He's not Ansem's
On the matter.
protagonist just yet. Because he becomes that after he possesses Riku in Kingdom Hearts 1. He goes back to when he was a teen, young Xehanort, and gives him the ability to travel through time without having to be a heart or heartless, and still follows the same rules stated above. You know, he is tasked by Ansem to get the versions of himself and those vessels loyal to Xehanort to gather in present day. Dream drop distance time. They can all travel through time without being just a heart now, because young Xehanort has the assistance given to him and shares it with them, because in his timeline he does become a heart in time travel, so he's able to without becoming a heart in the past. It's confusing, I know, but it does make sense on some level. So also Sora and Riku are able to travel through time because they both became hearts in Kingdom Hearts. Sora releasing his heart and Riku doing the fuckery with Ansem. The reason their Kingdom Hearts 1 selves and Dream Drops distance while in the realm of sleep is because Ansem sent them back in time to their Kingdom Hearts 1 selves at the point where Destiny Islands were being consumed by darkness, because that's the only true way to access the realm of sleep. Yep. All this is pretty accurate. I will say that maybe he'll say it later, or I don't think he will. But so basically he's gathering all of his previous selves to make into the organization. But they're able to be physically there because it says that you can only be a heart. The reason that they're physically there is because they're putting the hearts into replicas. So they're not like real bodies, if that makes sense.
Basically, at some point, Evil Ansem went back to Destiny Islands where Xehanort grew up because, because everyone's from there. He met the young lad and was like, here's some, going back in time potion. Go round up all the Xehanorts because we going hard. Because, okay, Xehanort's Heartless was killed in Kingdom Hearts 1 and his Nobody was killed in Kingdom Hearts 2, which means Xehanort's Somebody is back and ready to crack some skulls. And wait, why does he look like creepy old man Xehanort, not Terranort? I thought I understood how this works.
It's really weird.
I'm doing my best. Oh, but now we learn about Xehanort's ultimate master plan. In Birth by Sleep, he wanted the Keyblade in order to control Kingdom Hearts. But the Keyblade exploded, and conveniently it likes to explode into 20 pieces. 7 light and 13 dark. Xehanort is all,
Grr, I want those shards.
like he's the villain in a cereal commercial or something. Originally, he planned for the 7 light pieces to come from the so-called 7 princesses of heart. Snow White, Cinderella, Alice, Aurora, Belle, Jasmine, and Kairi. This is all the business with the Princess Pods and Hollow Bastion back in Kingdom Hearts 1. But the 7 light pieces could also be the 7 Guardians of Light. Mickey, Sora, Riku, Ventus, Aqua, Terra, maybe Kairi. It's not really clear right now. Meanwhile, the 13 dark pieces are a little harder to come by. We got a couple bad eggs bumbling about, but 13? Not quite. So Xehanort, being the rational person he is, decided to essentially create 12 copies of himself by putting a little Nort into all these nobodies, which together would then act as the 13 dark pieces needed to form the Keyblade. This is why Xehanort created Organization 13. His plan was to Nort each of the members so he'd have his 13 dark pieces, but instead they thought for themselves and were like, what the heck, dude? And also Sora killed everybody, so way to go, Sora.
Yeah, so they all developed hearts, which is actually a very key point for nobodies because they hammered it very hard in Kingdom Hearts 2. Like, if you're a nobody, you're a being without a heart. That's why you're a nobody. But in Dream Drop Distance, and even in 358 over 2 days, you could kind of tell that they don't have hearts, but they act on the memories of their previous lives, which is why they kind of have feelings like that. But they can also develop a heart after, just being alive long enough from having their own experiences and stuff like that. So yes, a nobody can also develop a heart.
He also tried having 2 of the members be his Heartless and Nobody, which is totally cheating. Xehanort, being the rational person he is, decided,
Hey, that's a good point. What am I doing norting unwilling people? I'll just find people who want to be me. Like, me.
So that's why he sent Ansem to seek out young Xehanort in the past. He's making a new Organization 13 out of some time-traveling Xehanorts and a bunch of other friends called the, wait for it, Real Organization 13.
Yep.
They should have called it the Super Excited to Be Xehanort Club. So Xehanort gathers himself, young Xehanort, Ansem, Xemnas, Xigbar, and Syx, who are part of the old Organization 13, but apparently just can't get enough of that Nort juice, and 6 other shadowy figures that'll almost certainly get revealed in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Probably like time-traveling goofies or something.
Oh, yuck.
But wait, I hear you
Goofy
counting on your fingers. That only makes 12. Yes, they're 1 short. So Xehanort decides the 13th Nort shall be Sora. He kidnaps Sora because I guess Goofus and Dallant do literally nothing all day and is about to Nort Sora super good when Lee dives in and saves the day.
Psst, Lee is Axel's somebody and he only really cares about Roxas and Xion, but Sora will have to do.
Xehanort goes,
Well, he doesn't remember
Drat,
Xion.
I'd kidnap you again, but we're all out of our going back in time potion. Until next time when the 7 and 13 are destined to fight and summon the Keyblade in Kingdom Hearts 3.
And all the Xehanorts disappear. For now. Riku and Sora go back to Yen Sid and they're like, wow, the whole universe was at stake. Glad we got out of that one. Hoo-wee, I almost forgot we were taking a test, haha. And Yen Sid goes,
Riku, you passed. Good job. Sora, you almost got norted. You fail.
And Sora goes, Nort again! All the characters laugh and credits roll. Wait! We're not done yet. 2 quick games to go. Union Cross.
Union Cross.
Long ago, I mean, like, long ago, all the worlds were connected, and it was the age of fairy tales. In this harsh on the eyeballs place called Daybreak Town, there was this guy called the Master of Masters, who wore a sweet hood and trench like the organization dudes, and he wrote this book of prophecies with the help of his Keyblade No Name, which can see into the future, but only the future it's
That's also Xehanort's Keyblade.
actually around for, like, in the same room. Look, it's got a magic creepy eyeball. So the Master of Masters goes to his 6 apprentices and is like, hey guys, I'm gonna peace out. Here, you carry No Name around to pass it down through the generations for no particular future sight related reason, and this box, don't open it. And the rest of you get a signed copy of my book, you're welcome. But little did the apprentices know, he gave each of them a slightly different copy of the Book of Prophecies. They read their books and learn there's a traitor amongst them, but not really. The apprentices scatter to the winds like dandelions and create their own little groups that learn to use Keyblades. Years and years pass, these groups all end up fighting in the Keyblade War and shattering the Keyblade into 20 pieces, and yeah, there's some of your backstory, I guess. Look, this is a browser/mobile game, don't worry about it too much. Like, maybe you should know Ventus and Marluxia's somebody are leaders of 2 of these groups, and there's these things called Darklings that are heartless born from Keyblade wielders. There's a Darkling on the box for Kingdom Hearts 3 right about, yeah. But seriously, if any of this is relevant in Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm sure they'll provide context for it like the competent writers they are.
There's a channel called Everglow, I think, that you could watch all the cutscenes for Unchained Key and all the previous versions before. But let's see, 2019. When did Unchained Key finish? I think it was still going through updates. But yeah, so basically what happens, I'll just sum it up real quick. So yes, all the stuff with the Masters giving the book, and then they all get sus of each other because it says there's a traitor. Basically they each had a role to play, like they each had a specific thing to uphold, and one of the people, I think her name is Ava. It's the girl with the deer mask, the pink one. Her role was to take people from all the different factions and make another group called the Dandelions. So that's why he said spread like dandelions. But they were supposed to not be a part of the Great War or the Keyblade battle, the Keyblade War, and survive it and, like, you know, carry on. So like that's where our player is a part of the Dandelions and stuff like that. There's another group of 5 people that are leaders of the Dandelions, and yeah, you know, Marluxia's in there. Marluxia's somebody. Lorium, I think that's what his name is, as well as Larxene, somebody named It's on the screen. I'll put it there. I don't remember her name at the moment. And yeah, and Ventus is there. Ventus is a member of the Dandelions. He's a faction leader. Yeah. And Alorium too.
Hocus pocus! These games have no focus! Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep, a fragmentary passage to that's the sound of my soul escaping my body. Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by... Hey, you know what? Let's just call it No for short. Acts as a kind of prequel sequel that sets some things up for Kingdom Hearts 3. You play as Aqua, picking up right after the events of Birth by Sleep, where she was trapped in the realm of darkness by Terranort. She wanders around some Disney world swallowed up by darkness, fights her doppelganger, Phantom Aqua, and finds Ventus and Terra, but they're not actually there, she's just lonely. She fights some shadow monsters and ends...
It's a little weird because she does have a conversation with Ventus and Terra in there, and I think one of them is actually Terra, because you know Terra's taken over his heart's like in the realm of darkness for a second, but what happens is he kind of snaps out of it, and he's like no longer Terra in there. He's the Terranort, and so Xehanort, which is Terranort, which is Xehanort as the apprentice. I some of the why is this a little hard for me to say, but that is why Xemnas knows that what's his name? That's why Xehanort knows that Ventus is in Castle Oblivion, because Aqua tells the Terra that was in the Realm of Darkness that that's where he put Ventus. Also, Ventus doesn't talk to any of it. He's just kind of like a sleepy boy. He's out of it. But yeah, that's why he knows. He doesn't know like really why. And he also finds the armor inside Hollow Bastion and Radiant Garden. The name's interchangeable. But Radiant Garden, which is why he's like, this armor looks familiar. And it's because he's having his memories from when he was Terranort.
Ends up falling even deeper into darkness, but eventually runs into Riku and Mickey. Because, yeah, even though her story took place 10 years before Kingdom Hearts 1, time is super janky in the Realm of Darkness.
Yes.
Which sure is convenient if you're a writer and want to get your prequel character into the present
just
story.
don't think about it.
Aqua fends off the darkness, while Riku and Mickey close the door from the end of Kingdom
Like in
Hearts
Kingdom
1,
Hearts 1?
and Mickey literally loses his shirt just to preserve continuity. There's no other reason. What a guy! What a guy! The door is
So I'll explain why Mickey doesn't have the shirt. So in Kingdom Hearts 1, I'm sure you all know the fucking story of, Kingdom Hearts 1 was made in an elevator, Disney exec, Square exec, whatever. Everybody knows that story. But during the meeting, or like the when they were making the game, Disney was saying like, hey, we don't know how good this is going to be. Like, we could give you maybe one scene with Mickey Mouse. So the scene that they have, I'll put it up on screen, is, it's the OG, like the actual Mickey Mouse, how he normally looks instead of his Kingdom Hearts outfit. And in order to keep continuity in this prequel game, they made it so he loses his shirt. Yeah.
Successfully closed. Hooray! Except Aqua is still trapped in darkness. Feces. Elsewhere, Yen Sid is like,
Sora, not only
Also, after the whole fiasco with the Jiminy's Journal, Mickey remembers like, hey, I got a buddy in the Realm of Darkness. Maybe we should go save her.
did you fail my super simple exam, but your brush with getting Norted actually left you Metroided. Look, all your stats are back to level 1.
Sora goes,
Yep.
Oh well, gosh darn, ain't that convenient? I mean inconvenient.
There's no time. Go to the
Wait,
Colosseum.
I want to look at
Darn,
all these
ain't
stats actually. Hunger, bladder. Oh, there's only one bladder. That's not very good. Strength, dexterity, pockets. I think he's got a little bit more than 2, if I'm being honest. Just on that outfit alone, there's no way. Smarts, dumbs. That's a lot of dumbs. Oatmeal staring. Nice callback. Sad boys, yeah. A lot of sad boys.
That convenient? I mean inconvenient.
There's no time. Go to the Colosseum from Hercules and hang out with Danny DeVito.
Okay.
Also, Lee is a Keyblade wielder now. And Kairi. I am so tired. And that takes
Again, Kairi could wield a Keyblade. Like in Kingdom Hearts 2, she had the Keyblade.
us to Kingdom Hearts
We're just waiting
3.
for it to come
Sora's
back.
gotta train. Riku and Mickey gotta rescue Aqua. Kairi's got to maybe develop into a character? And Xehanort is off somewhere trying to get the 7 Pieces of Light and the Sex Club to go to prom together. What'll happen? Will Xehanort reassemble the Keyblade only for Yen Sid to pull a King of Red Lions and be like, I made this? Will the Disney and Final Fantasy characters actually have any kind of bearing on the overall plot? Will we meet a character without pointy anime hair? Will we get to befriend him over the course of our journey, and then in our final moment of need his hair pointifies and he saves the day? Will Goofy say a swear? Let Goofy swear! Hello, if you feel like you don't have quite enough Kingdom Hearts
Okay, so I have the other video loaded up, so I'll just switch to that tab right now. And here we go. Here's the Kingdom Hearts 3 section. Let's check it out.
video is brought to you in part by me, because I made this.
I mean,
Welcome to a good enough summary of Kingdom
I made
Hearts 3. You might be here because you just can't be bothered to play Kingdom Hearts 3, or maybe it's the year 2082 and you're looking for a refresher before Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out. Hi
That's
kids,
pretty
it's
fact.
me, your Grand Pep in the past. If you're confused and lost, well, I mean, we all are, but you should probably watch my other video first, covering everything up to this point. Alright, then let's do this. Kingdom Hearts 3. Last we saw Sora, he was getting told by Yen Sid to get good. His main task is to relearn the power of waking, which will allow him to help those jumbled up hearts inside of him and unjelly his jam once and
that's
for
the whole
all.
purpose
I
of
guess
Kingdom
that's
Hearts 3.
technically what he did with Kairi's heart back in Kingdom Hearts 1, but with the power of waking, he shouldn't have to poke his soft underbelly and turn into a bug. Yen Sid gives everybody who matters new clothing and sends them off.
Oh, also be on the lookout for Keyblade wielders. We need like 2 more to get to 7.
He says. Sora, Donald, and Goofy fly through a bunch of completely arbitrary Disney worlds that once again do not matter in the slightest, and Sora learns absolutely nothing about the power of waking.
Yeah, he doesn't learn about anything from the Disney worlds really, but they are somewhat essential to the plot of the story. Like in the Toy Story world, the reason that they're there is the toys have hearts. So young Xehanort goes over there to be like, why do these toys have hearts? Like, this could be useful for us with the replicas. And in the Big Hero 6 world, they again are like, this machine, because they're talking about Baymax, this machine has a heart. This is weird. Like, this could also be useful information for us, you know? The Tangled world has a Disney princess. The Frozen world has a Disney princess, you know? Yeah, so even though they're not really, like, important, they do make sense with the story, and they have a reason for them to be there. Yeah, that makes sense.
Jack Sparrow is actually a bunch of crabs in a trench coat, and Rex from Toy Story is obsessed with this hot new video game you wish you were playing instead called Verum Rex. Wait, is he obsessed with
We don't
it
mention
because
Verum
he
Rex
thinks
here.
it's about him? Oh, and you can make Olaf. Also, Maleficent and Pete are back, and they're looking for a box. They don't find it. Pat-a-pat, aw. Along the way, we're reintroduced to the real Organization 13 and learn who the rest of the members are. Disappointingly, they're all characters we already know. Boo! In addition to the Norts we
I don't know. I feel like it would have been weird if they added new characters. Like, we were all just kind of like guessing around and stuff like that at the time. But yeah, I did like that they were all people who we kind of knew.
saw in Dream Drop Distance, there's Larxene, Marluxia, Luxord, Vexen, and Demyx. But now they all have yellow eyes, yo-oh! Also joining the gang is Vanitas from Birth by Sleep and Dark Riku, a time-traveling replica Riku from Chain of Memories. This
Technically, no. It is the version of Riku that was possessed by Ansem at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1. So it's not a replica. It's not replica Riku from Chain of Memories. It's Kingdom Hearts 1 Riku, which they gave a stronger body. Because obviously, like, Kingdom Hearts 1 Riku was not that strong. How's he going to compete with the Sora of today? You know? But yeah.
is a different Riku than the replica Riku we met in Castle Oblivion, and we know this because that replica Riku is hanging out inside of the original Riku like a teenager loitering outside of 7-Eleven.
true.
There's also a hand-wavy explanation as to why Ansem and Xemnas blowing up revived old man Xehanort instead of Terranort, but don't worry about it because Terranort is back too, and there's even another hooded figure we'll get to later. This is way more than 13? There's too many hooded figures in this game. Some of
This
the
time
other
they got
former members of
double
Organization
people. They got
13
extras.
decided to be good and stay as somebodies. They hang out back at Ansem the Wise's place and dig through his stuff and find his naughty magazines. They text Sora old memes sometimes. The somebodies figure out what we learned like 3 games ago, that Sora has all these hearts jellying up his jam. Sora's like, I don't know if any of them even technically count as people, but we gotta help them out. He sets out to free
That's a
Roxas
little
because, ew, girls are
no-basis.
icky. But he runs into a problem. For one, Roxas doesn't have a body anymore, and for two, Sora doesn't know how to release Roxas's heart. Wait, hold up, since when do nobodies have hearts? I thought the whole point was that they're a shell without a heart. You know what? I have no more fight left in me. It's
Again, they could grow hearts, which is why People like Baymax could have a heart. The toys in Toy Story, like Buzz and Woody, they could have hearts. Pinocchio could have a heart, even though he's just a puppet. Like, and in inanimate objects, if they have a personality, they could essentially grow a heart and have feelings and stuff like that.
It's fine. Wrong is hooded, this plot is convoluted. Roxas's friends show up and are like, hey, we don't remember Roxas because we were only friends with him inside a computer. And Sora's like, oh yeah, there should be a copy of his heart in the computer. But they don't know Ansem's password. Beep boop sad toot. Meanwhile, Riku and Mickey are so bad at rescuing Aqua that she turns into anti-Aqua. Which is actually fine because
At the time of speculation, we all thought Aqua was going to be evil and was going to be part of the real organization. It was kind of funny.
mean she's rocking it. Mickey goes, what happened? And she's like, I was trapped here for 10 years and turned evil and got this sweet outfit. What took you so long? And Riku's like, I couldn't find my big car, my bad, lol. Sora pops out of a portal and helps his boyfriend Riku beat up Darkwa with the power of the Gay Blade TM. They unlock Aqua's face so hard she turns good again.
Why?
They zip over to Castle Oblivion and Aqua turns it back into the land of departure and they find Sleepy Ventus right where she left him having a big ol' nap. Sora tries to use the power of waking, but Vanitas pops up and attacks Aqua. He's like, heh heh, and she's like, oh no. Suddenly, Sora learns the actual power of waking because, you know, they had an opportunity to make the Disney worlds relevant, but no, you know what, now is fine, this'll do. Ventus's heart poots out of Sora and into Ventus, and Ventus wakes up. He jumps in front of Vanitas and goes, remember me? And Vanitas goes,
Oh, that's cute, because that's what I said in Birth by Sleep when
and Ventus bops him on the noggin.
Ow.
Did you toot?
Elsewhere, Vexen grabs Demyx and is like,
Wait, I forgot Xehanort isn't even a real goth. Let's bounce.
what do you mean? You willingly came back and let yourself get Norded.
I'm a double agent. I'm working for Ansem the Wise. Let's go.
And
true.
on their way
Very
out,
true.
they steal an empty replica body for Roxas. For later.
Yes.
Oh, and Ansem the Wise is totally fine and wandering about in the background, but he barely does anything, so don't worry about him. Back at Yen Sid's place, the 7 Guardians of Light are
They're
finally
with the
assembled.
replicas.
Sora, Riku, Mickey, Aqua, and Ventus are joined by Kairi and Lee, who spent 10 hyperbolic time chamber minutes in Merlin's moon bounce, so they're totally trained and up to the task. Yen Sid goes,
Son of a Disney, is this really the best we have? Okay, y'all ready to fight Xehanort?
Wait, Mr. Yan Sid.
says Goofy.
If the 7 and the 13 fight each other, then that'll summon the Keyblade, right?
Yes, what's your point?
So if we don't fight them, then Xehanort can never win.
Wow, Goofy, you're as smart as you are handsome. But if we refuse to fight, Xehanort will just use the 7 princesses of Heart
I like
instead.
Turnips, cries Sora. I won't stand by and let Nordy Nort hurt Jasmine and Belle and Snow White and...
No, actually, we're done with those princesses. It's all about Frozen and Tangled now.
But what happens?
It's all about Tangled and Frozen. It may be,
Yeah.
Moana, eventually. Now
That'd be
go, appease our shareholders
I don't know about Moana
and
too, though.
fight
We
that
don't have to nitpick
Xehanort.
that part.
So the 7 Guardians of Light and Donald and Goofy take the battle bus to the Keyblade Graveyard. They battle against the trillion billion Heartless, and Sora defeats them with a choo-choo train. But then Terra Nort shows up and kills everybody. Oopsie poopsie. Sora
They're actually dead. Like, they actually died. Mickey dies, Donald dies, Goofy dies, Kyrie, they're all dead. It's kind of crazy.
wakes up dead in the final world and puts his soul back together by running through an Escher painting and high-fiving himself a lot. He brings everyone back.
He doesn't go over it, but in the final world is Nomine's heart, because like Kyrie died, so that means that Nomine also died, and he kind of talks to her, and yeah, and it's like, oh, hold on, I think I got a buddy who can help you out real quick. I've been kind of talking to him. Let me send
Back
him.
to life, and they fight another wave of a trillion billion Heartless. But this time, they summon the power of Union Cross and surf on a wave.
Oh, we didn't go over it. Okay, well, the Lingering Will, Terra's armor comes in to defend the Guardians of Light, and that was the person that Nominate called to go help him out.
Of Keyblades, and the ghost of this guy without pointy anime hair winks at Sora. See? I call.
That guy's name is Ephemer. He's also one of the Dandelion leaders.
Called it. Yen Sid, tired of everyone's incompetence, blasts down from orbit and makes a path through the Heartless.
Moses, Moses, I'm doing a Moses!
He yells. Finally,
I like that.
after countless games and years upon years of waiting, we have our 7 and our 13 face off against each other. And it's all tense and quiet, and a tumbleweed rolls past. But Xehanort goes,
Lol, nope, poof, here's a maze.
Sora works his way through Xehanort's last-minute corn maze of cheap suspense and takes out some organization members. He helps turn Terra Nort back into Terra, and Replica Riku kills Dark Riku while Riku watches. And Sora goes, check please. The final hooded member is revealed to be Xion,
crazy.
and she's evil again. But off-screen, Ansem the Wise was able to log into his
So yeah, I said that everybody forgot who Xion was, but looking through their old data, Xemnas is like, what the hell is this? We have a random replica, let's just use it. And that's how they bring back Xion. So if you're wondering, that's why.
his computer after finding his password underneath the keyboard and put Roxas's digi-heart into the replica body, and so Roxas enters the fight. Xion goes, wait.
Yeah. So during the fight, he just kind of needed a moment for him to come back, or like there needed to be a connection for him to come back. Which I mean, I don't know if he goes over the DLC, but in the DLC they'll explain how that happens. But yeah.
Nope, I got my heart back from Sora. Thanks, Sora, I'm good again. And he's like, when did that happen? Whoa! All the while, each fight is bringing Xehanort one shard closer to the Keyblade. Kairi, for the first time ever, is about to do a thing, but before she can, she gets kidnapped. Oh, how convenient. Maybe next time, Kairi. Maybe next time.
I was a little salty
Sora's
about
like,
that,
heck,
too.
I'm not gonna fight and let you summon the Keyblade. I throw down my sword. But Xehanort goes,
Oh yeah, what if I do this?
Psh, okay, sure. Threaten someone I don't even know.
This is Kairi from Destiny Islands.
I think I know what Riku looks like.
Pinty girded, your friend is now murdered.
And he kills Kairi. Wait, I think I remember who she is now. No! In a frenzy, Sora defeats the last Norts, allowing Xehanort to summon the Keyblade.
I made this.
Oh yeah, that was the thing I wasn't supposed to do. Whoops, he says.
Now, summon Kingdom Hearts and make it purple and drippy.
Says Xehanort. Duck noises, says Donald.
Yuck.
Says Goofy, or at least he should have. Mickey, realizing he should probably do something of note in this game, stops time and pulls Sora aside. Hey, so it turns out that most of the organization members you killed were traveling through time, which is why they were back even though you defeated them before. And Xehanort is the portal that lets them do that. That makes every amount of sense. Thank you, Mickey-senpai. Oh no, is that a wave of Heartless I see? Stops it. So they dive into the portal that
I like
is
that.
Xehanort and wind up in Scala ad Calum, the stairway to the sky, and prepare for their final, ultimate, you better believe it's gonna be epic, anime showdown. Sora believes in himself, Xehanort turns into a goat, and the player mashes L2 a lot, trying to select the right... Damn it!
Yeah.
Well, at least someone turned into a boat. At last, Xehanort is defeated.
Darn Grummet, my plan was awesome. Everyone was gonna be all like, "Ooh, Xehanort, you're so cool."
But you're not so cool, old friend.
Everyone gasps with astonishment because it's the ghost of Ericus present. Yeah, this is one detail I probably should have mentioned in the last video. When Ericus died in Birth by Sleep, his little soul particles got caught in Terra's hair, and he's been quietly hanging out inside of Terra this whole time. Xehanort goes,
Heck, I guess you're right. I quit. Let's go get some sushi.
Ericus and Xehanort hold hands and fly off into space, and there goes any chance we had at catharsis. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people are upset because they kind of make it like, oh, Xehanort was doing this for, you know, the good of everything. He just wanted the darkness gone, and he thought that he could get rid of it by changing the universe with the Kingdom Hearts. And yeah, you can see how that sounds annoying.
Okay, cool, this is super underwhelming. Sora picks up the Keyblade and swooshes everything back to normal, and everyone's like, hooray! Lee is chilling with Roxas and Shion, Aqua's hanging out with Ventus and Terra, none of whom have aged in 10 years, okay? And Sora goes to Riku and is like, well, spit me out like the pit of a palpu fruit. I can't believe we all made it back in one piece. And Riku goes,
You do remember Kairi died, right?
Oh yeah, but if I bring her heart back, I'll be lost forever.
Where does it say that?
It says right here in my dramatic endings for Dingus's book that I ate for lunch.
so Sora brings Kairi back to life and fades away.
Later, nerds.
And just then, Naminé walks over and starts breakdancing. Ow! Meanwhile, Pete and Maleficent actually find the box they've been searching for this whole time, and it turns out to be the Master of Masters box from Union Cross. Remember that one right there? A hooded figure arrives and summons 4 of the 5 foretellers. They're like, sup, Luciu, the other apprentice from Union Cross whose face we've never seen. You were right here in the lineup. Yep, that's you. Why have you portaled us here to the future? Also, we're missing Snake Girl or Rabbit Girl or whatever. And Luciu takes off their hood and reveals themselves to be Zigbar. They apparently didn't die earlier and are Luciu. Zigbar, or Luciu, is like, whoops, looks like Xehanort's out of the picture and I'm the villain now. Horngus hens, the ride never ends, hee hee hee. And then Sora wakes up in Tokyo and the guy from
Okay, well, before he explains this, yeah, so Zigbar is revealed to be, well, I guess now it's Breg, but he's revealed to be Luciu. So his true name is Luciu. The reason why he was hanging around Xehanort the whole time is because he wanted the no-name Keyblade, which again is why he was helping him out in Birth by Sleep, because he wanted the Keyblade that Xehanort had. I don't know how he lost it, or if this was also part of the plan, that he just wanted to lend it to him for a bit and then watch over him. But yeah, that is the reason why Breg or Luciu has been around Xehanort this entire time.
Verum Rex is there. Yes, the guy from the fictional game Rex was obsessed with. I do not know. Don't look
We don't know
at
what
me.
this is.
And that's it for Kingdom Hearts 3. Or is it? Might be. Most of Kingdom Hearts 3 took place in an alternate timeline dreamscape, and there's actually some semi-decent evidence to back that up. I don't know. There's a link in the description to the theory, and it makes me mad that it's plausible. You can also click here and watch Gam read the theory to me while I work on this video that you're watching. Good night, everybody. See you in 15 years. Also, look, I got stickers now. Point Snail.
Hold on. I didn't know that there was one of the DLC. It's only a minute long. You know what? Sure. All right. I didn't know that this was a video, but it's also only a minute long, so I don't know what he's gonna say. Oh, he seems pretty upset.
Okay, so, Kairi finally did a thing, but it made her really, really tired. So she had to sleep it off for a year.
I mean, basically. I'll explain what happens a little bit more in depth. So when everybody died, right? That was the point in time when, because at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, he's like, "Oh, I gotta get Kairi back." So he goes back in time. He does the thing that Xehanort does, and he uses the Power Awakening to try to get Kairi back. So he goes back in time to when everybody died, basically, and he goes through everybody's like bodies or everybody's hearts. So first he goes through Ventus's heart, where he fights a being of darkness, which the being of darkness actually might be one of the primordial darknesses from Chain of Memories, because I don't know if this is a spoiler, but at the end we realized that Ventus was not supposed to be a dandelion. He was just a normal person, but he gets possessed by darkness, because back then I don't think that they're not technically heartless. Like, it's just darkness personified. There's enemies. They're beings of darkness, and they're fighting the people of light. But darkness takes over Ventus, and he kills the person who was supposed to be a dandelion leader, which was, I forget her name. I'll put it up on screen, but that is Lorium's sister, and she appears in the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer too. It's kind of crazy, but basically the darkness that was extracted from Ventus's heart that Xehanort did back when he found him, after there was a whole time travel thing where they send everybody to the future. But because the world's getting destroyed, it's getting separated into all these different worlds. But when Xehanort finds them and he does the whole darkness extraction thing and creates Vanitas, Vanitas is essentially like the primordial darkness, or at least it's assumed that he is. And we fight against that, which is why it's a secret boss fight in the game, and it's like pretty difficult. Actually, this was pretty easy, but it's supposed to be like one of the difficult ones, like a lingering will or a clothed figure from the first game, you know. But yeah, he goes through everybody's heart and experiences what they were going through, you know. So he jumps through all these people's hearts, and that's how he unlocks Roxas's heart. That's how he helps get Terra's heart out, and he collects all the pieces of Kyrie's heart, which were scattered everywhere in Skull and Kylum, and he brings Kyrie back, and they fight Xehanort in that DLC. And you could actually play as Kyrie in that sequence. It's pretty fun. But yeah, and then afterwards, when the whole part where she has to take a nap for a year, that's another game. It's called Melody of Memory. It's actually a rhythm game, but what they're trying to do is they're trying to go through Kyrie's memories to try to bring back Sora. So they kind of put her in a coma for a year while they study her memories to look for any clues just to help bring Sora back. So yeah, that's basically what the DLC is.
Please come with me.
Is that the end? All right, well that's the end. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hold on, do I have one of these? The wall, okay, that's very big. Anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I was able to explain things in a way that you could understand. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just rambling about nonsense. Yeah, so I'm still working on the video that I wanted to make, but I just wanted to throw this out there on my second channel. This is the second channel. I'll link to my actual channel. But yeah, just wanted to make a video, get some content out there, so that way, you know, relevancy and stuff like that. But yeah, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.